All new Dr. Phil, the organizer of TanaCon.
I don't think he has a single staff member who can say anything good about him. I've had him threaten to not feed me on tours, threaten to take my belongings away, and basically treat me like an abusive father figure.
These laughable accusations, literally not worth my time.
I sat in your apartment as you literally physically assaulted her.
I'm not going to engage with it. I will not. This is so beneath me.
It's the people that get a little bit of success that goes to their head and they strut around like King Kong.
I just don't know what else to do.
You need a wake-up call.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Yesterday, I sat down with Michael, a 24-year-old entrepreneur, social media manager, and organizer of the 2018 social media convention, TanaCon, which shut down early due to security concerns. It's been 3 years since the TanaCon controversy made international headlines, but Michael says he still receives online death threats and backlash on a daily basis. Now, Michael wrote to me seeking advice on how to move forward and clear his name. Now, my team conducted reference checks in hopes to gather research and help set the record straight, but learned new, surprising information in the process. We spoke with the TanaCon attendee, a current client of Michael's, and 2 former employees who claim Michael was not telling the truth and wanted him to come clean. Here's what happened as the conversation got heated.
First few hours of TanaCon went off flawlessly. Everything seemed to be going great. And then my assistant runs up to me in a panic. The hotel had shut the doors. And what that did was there were 20,000 people outside waiting to get in. We were over capacity by 15,000 people. The entire thing just kind of spiraled out of control. Police swarmed the building, getting on their loudspeakers, "Please evacuate immediately."
All right, guys, everybody, let's go!
As a CEO, I had the pressure on my shoulders to make the decision to cancel the event. I felt like my career was over. The internet exploded. I was getting death threats. I was painted as an evil villain. I was forced to file Chapter 7 bankruptcy.
What would you like to say to anyone who attended TanaCon in 2018?
One is I'm sorry. I'm sorry that their expectations were not met.
Joining us from her home in Orange County, California is Amanda, who filmed the event for her channel.
I felt like the safety of attendees wasn't even thought of. Not only just security-wise, refreshments-wise, there was no food or water available.
We actually had over 10 food trucks in the back of the parking lot.
Once you got inside, you couldn't leave because they wouldn't let you back inside.
I'm not here to relive the past or talk to you about those kind of things. Again, I'm sorry that you had that experience. That's why I made the decision to, if I could speak. Do you think that's worth me killing myself over? I'm here to heal. Lost my business, lost my friends, lost pretty much everything.
I'm surprised by your attitude now, because you say you want to heal, but yet you're obviously very angry.
I am.
What I expected from you was to come in and say, I had really good intentions, but obviously I blew it. And you've said none of that. You've said, I'm a victim, I'm being picked on.
And I did apologize, and I have.
No, you didn't apologize. You gave an excuse cloaked as an apology with no genuine remorse whatsoever. Joining us from Reno, Nevada is a client of Michael's named Blake.
He has been my manager since May of 2019, and he's been amazing.
There are things being said about him. You're a liar, a cheat, a scammer. Has that been your experience in working with him?
No.
Well, for every story, my team conducts an investigation depending on the subject matter. That search led to Phil and Sydney, who are Michael's former employees. Here's what they have to say.
Michael has gone from being the golden boy in the industry to literally becoming a scam artist.
When the TanaCon event started, it was a mess from the beginning. I was the one who had to go outside and cancel the event. The fans and their families were absolutely irate. Leading up to TanaCon, we were going on a business trip to a convention with all of our clients. And when we got there, we were told at that point that we had to earn a bed to sleep in. I am an employee of this company, and I can't even have a bed to sleep in when I'm here working.
I don't recall that situation. I wish I could think on it. I just don't.
Well, this isn't isolated. You've witnessed him mistreating employees as well.
Yes.
How so?
All right, I've seen him make multiple employees cry verbally due to verbal abuse, embarrassment. If, say, Sydney made an honest mistake, the attack that would come from his mouth would be enough to literally send her into tears and breaking down.
If I say anything, it's only to drive my employees. You know that I love you.
How many times must you make somebody? How many times must you make somebody cry though? When it's not working. I don't even recall one situation in which a client or an employee has cried.
I can absolutely account for one myself.
No.
I had terminated my employment with Michael, and after terminating my employment, we did remain friends for a few months. And then I started receiving threatening voice messages that were completely unrelated to anything. And I wasn't even an employee, so I shouldn't have been getting them to begin with.
I mean, I was in a dark, I don't even recognize who I was at that point in time, to be honest with you. I apologize. I've apologized to you. Frankly, I don't know why you're here, Phil. You emailed me last week asking me to verify you on Instagram, and I took you to the Grammys in February.
An excerpt from Phil's resignation letter, subject creative director position at Juice Crate, date March 18th, 2020, to Michael. People don't believe in Juice Crate enough, either directly because of you, we know this and have known this, because of what other people have said to slander JK. Everything is about profit or money, everything. The way you treat your employees and or people is another thing. It all comes from all you treat people personally. We just had a talk at your house after tour when you got stood up on how it's hard for you to make friends, et cetera, et cetera. Not going to get into that, but you generally treat people horribly. Not one has been friend or employee has more nice things than bad to say about you unless they want something. Well, there's a pattern here.
It seems that way. People tend to... You can speak.
Good choice. How old are you?
24.
And you've had a lot of success early, right?
I've also worked my ass off, but yes, sir.
Yeah. I'm not saying anybody gave you anything. I just said you've had a lot of success early. And sometimes having a lot of success early can come before maturity that rolls along with it.
I don't disagree.
And, your brain's not even through growing until you're 25 or 30 years old.
Right.
And it can get to the point where maybe empathy and sensitivity for other people is not at the forefront of your priorities when
it comes to business, I wouldn't disagree, but business is about money. And at the end of the day, I have to build a business. Business is also about many other things, but the number at the end of the line that everyone is there for, employees are there to get paid, I'm there to get paid. At the end of the day, I have to worry about money.
What's the number at the bottom of your page right now?
What do you mean?
You say it's all about the number, you got to make money, so how's that working for you?
Well, I just mean you have to be fiscally responsible, and it's my job as the CEO.
So how's that working for you? How fiscally responsible have you been making the decisions you've made? You got to own something at some point.
And I do. But I'm just saying, it's...
Well, you can't say, but I do, but means forget everything I just said. Okay. I'm now going to tell you what I really think.
I don't know. Let me be honest. Why are you here, Phil?
Because you gave Dr. Phil and the producers my number to contact me.
Okay, but
and I gave my statement, and they invited me on the show.
we were, like, I thought you were one of my best friends. I took you to the Grammys with me in February.
February this year, yes.
And then you tell me that the reason you quit, you wanted to quit after TanaCon, but you waited 2.5 years. Why? Just to get stuff from me? Just like last month when you asked me to verify you? Like, I just don't understand who's real in my life. So that's probably led to eventually me becoming cold and cut off from the world. I definitely wasn't like that growing up at all. And it's so sad, like the social media world has turned me into someone that, like I said, when I said that to Sydney, I am so sorry, genuinely. If I said that to you, I'm so sorry. I don't recognize who I was then. And I would never wish what I went through on anyone. And I'm so sorry.
And we wouldn't wish that on you either. But as former employees, as former friends, we need you to see
like
the consequences of your actions.
Even, like, we never had
Coming on this segment does not mean we're not friends. I wanted you to learn from this.
I'm here to learn.
How many times have I given you heart-to-hearts and been like, Michael, personally, it's me and you after people left or like left.
I know that.
And we've had talks where you've cried and broke down and whatnot, where I've held you accountable. And you agree or disagree.
Yeah, I can take accountability for sure. And I'm thankful for the criticism that's helpful.
We got to take a break. But before we do, here's a statement from a current associate, Taylor, COO and vice president of a company that you have called Juice Crate. Taylor says, Michael has always been a self-starter and a go-getter, always had big plans and big goals for himself and his company. As he started getting more clients and growing his business, started becoming more bossy and wanted people to do things his way, was extremely results-driven. There were many moments that he threatened to fire me on the spot and would yell if we weren't doing something how he wanted. Before TanaCon, it was his way or the highway, but now he constantly is asking for other people's opinions and thoughts. TanaCon made him realize that other people have great ideas too. I have truly seen the change Michael has made both personally and professionally over the last couple of years. He made a huge mistake, but I believe that he has really learned from it. Michael's former roommate joins the conversation. We'll find out what she has to say next.
Soon after working for Michael, I realized that he became really controlling. I essentially wasn't allowed to leave his side. When I heard he was planning TanaCon, I knew he was gonna mess it up automatically.
And later,
I've had him scream at me. I've had him threaten to not feed me on tours.
I'm not gonna engage with it. I will not. This is so beneath me.
Tomorrow,
Alexandria has gone to the emergency room 600 times.
Sometimes it can be like 3-4 times a week.
Been fired from 4 jobs because you just walked out and went to the hospital.
Yeah.
You got off a plane because you thought you were having appendicitis.
I would feel like something is wrong, like in that moment. And I just like literally like start panicking. If I don't go to the hospital, something is gonna happen to me.
That's tomorrow. Then on Thursday, the last interview with Mother God before her decaying body was discovered wrapped in Christmas lights.
Glitter makeup was painted on her face.
This is one of the most dangerous religious groups.
That's Thursday.
We've been talking to Phil and Sydney, who are former employees of TanaCon, promoter Michael. He was the promoter of the event, and it didn't go well. They claim he was once a pioneer in his industry, but crashed and burned after getting caught up with power, greed, and manipulation. Now, we just heard from Taylor, who is currently working with him and has been since TanaCon, that says he did learn from that. He got burned and he's owned it and he's learned from it. He now listens to other people. He takes their ideas. Now, I'd like to add someone else to the conversation. Allie says her relationship with her former roommate, Michael, is toxic, controlling. Well, she says it's frightening, as he has even physically attacked her in the past. She says in the past, she has given Michael several chances, but today, she's making one last effort to get through to him until she walks away for good.
Michael is completely a master manipulator. About 4 years ago, I started working for Michael and his management company. I was the director of operations. At first, working with Michael was super duper fun. After working for Michael for a few months, he wanted me to move into his home with him because he believed that together we could make his company grow. There was never any sort of romantic relationship. Soon after working for Michael, I realized that he became really controlling, really jealous. His general rules, like I wasn't allowed to go out to parties, I wasn't allowed to have a boyfriend. I essentially wasn't allowed to leave his side. If I were to do something on my own, it would make him extremely angry. He'd be like, okay, you're no longer director of operations. A few months after living with Michael, the way I was addressed started to become verbally abusive. I don't want to cry. Like, you're my subordinate, you will obey me, I own you. It did get physical. When I heard he was planning TanaCon, I knew he was gonna mess it up automatically. So I was like, this is gonna end really badly. About 6 months after TanaCon, Michael reached out to me and he made me think that he really changed, and he did seem really different, and Michael convinces me to move back in with him. Soon after, Michael was back to his old, very controlling self. I couldn't go to Bible studies. I couldn't do anything. I was his roommate, but he would be like, you're my soulmate. I'm not doing this. And I moved out. When it comes down to it, I think he is a toxic person, but I feel like there's a really good side of Michael, but there's a really deep, dark, twisted, satanic side of Michael.
Well, Allie, thank you for being here. We don't have you ostracized out there. This is social distancing,
okay.
So we've got you out there on purpose.
I'm far away from you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fun.
But you've been watching backstage. Is Michael being truthful here? Is he hearing this? Is he listening?
I'm going to try to word this the best I can. I think as a group, our overall goal was for him to realize, like, your lies catch up to you. Like, you need to start understanding that this is a whole mess that you created, whether it was TanaCon, the way he treated me, Sydney, and like all of his staff. I don't think he has a single staff member who can say anything good about him.
This is beneath me, and I will not engage with this.
Don't engage with it, and guess what? You don't have to, but we're on this show for you to finally realize something. I'm trying to make a breakthrough to you. It's obviously not gonna happen, but you know, you can try. I have had experiences recently. It was in June. Michael was mad that I was leaving his penthouse party, grabbed my neck, didn't make a big deal out of it because he was drunk. I've had him dump White Claws on me. I've had him scream at me. I've had him threaten to not feed me on tours, threaten to take my belongings away, and basically treat me like an abusive father figure, I guess I would say. Michael considers himself to be my father figure, and I don't think that at all. So he has some weird control over me. And I also do want to take responsibility for giving Michael so many chances. A big part of me loves the good side of Michael. And when the good side of Michael shines through, he is caring, he is invested in you, and he really makes you feel like there's a big part of this, like, kind of like evil man that cares about you a lot. So when I was experiencing that, like, I had so many good memories with Michael. But the second, like, he had, I guess you could call it a mood swing, or things in his realm of life weren't kind of oscillating in his way, he would take it out on me or other people around me. And it just gets intensely manipulative. And when I'm around him and it's bad, I live in fear. When I'm around him and it's good, I'm having a good time. But there's never like, oh, Monday through Friday, he's in a good mood. Saturdays, stay away. It's always like, how is Michael gonna feel today? Like, am I gonna wake up and be afraid?
This is not why I'm here. This is not what this is.
Why are you here?
To heal.
Why are you here to heal, but we can't heal because of the trauma you put us through?
I didn't put you through.
Don't tell me you did not put me through
2
trauma.
months.
No.
A Dr. Phil intervention.
I was addicted to heroin, and I was getting beat up, that I left my kids. What do you need to understand?
Like never before.
Are y'all smoking and drinking together?
Yes.
Why is she saying yes and you're saying no? I'm not sure that you guys are ready to change.
Be specific.
Oh, I've been specific. I gave you a specific assignment that you just blew off. Is there anything that I say to you that you're not going to argue with?
I'm going to argue what I feel is right.
Is there confusion about biology in this family? Is this your biological father or not?
I've never heard my wife say Ariel could be another man's daughter. That hit the nerve.
When the bones are good, the rest don't matter.
This family doesn't need a remodel. It needs a tear down and rebuild.
The house don't fall when the bones are good.
Today was earth-changing, life-changing for so many of us.
Starting Monday, only on Dr. Phil.
What do you say to that?
Like, I'm not going to engage with it. I will not. This is so beneath me. I'm not going to talk about someone calling me satanic or like these laughable accusations. Literally not worth my time.
He just degrades people, and that's what makes him feel good inside. So
I'm not going to engage with it. Like, this is not why I'm here. This is not what
Why are you here?
To heal and to help that little girl who's being cyberbullied out there. Like, there are literally people
bullying beneath yours.
Yeah. So wait, why are you here to heal, but we can't heal because of the trauma you put us through?
I didn't put you through.
Don't tell me you did not put me through
2
trauma.
months ago, you just had me buy you Disney. This woman has used me her entire life. Our friendship has been...
and I took responsibility. Did Michael spoil me sometimes?
Sometimes.
Yes, but listen, your love language, Michael, is money. That's how you tell people you care about them. You say it all the time. I love you. Here's this, that.
I like to tell
Don't
people
tell
that
me
I
any
care
of this
about
is
them.
beneath me, because for a very long time, I was the only person who gave about you for a very
And you know
long
that I
time.
loved you. Like, we have
and I just
matching
said
tattoos.
I love you. I said I was here to make sure you have a different change in your life, because you need a wake-up call.
You know,
you
some of this
need
is
a
just
wake-up call.
ridiculous. Like,
is it ridiculous?
Level with me, Allie. You've lived with me for
You
how
just
long?
shouted to a fan. Like, she literally said, no one deserves to be told to kill themselves. And you just screamed at her and said, did you just tell me to kill myself? Your mind is altered.
I know it is. I know.
You need
imagine
help.
looking at your phone
You
for 3
need
years
help.
straight. I know I need
Get
help.
over
I'm
that.
here for
I'm
that.
sorry, but listen.
I can't get over it, Allie.
Michael, how many times have you told me you didn't care if I killed myself?
I'm not gonna
How many
engage with
times
this.
have you joked about personal things I've gone through?
But you can't just dismiss a human being's perceptions just because you don't like the sound of
Because
it.
you don't want to hear it.
No, it's not that. It's just like...
Then what is it?
Some of your accusations are like laughable and...
Which ones are laughable?
All of it.
I don't think she thinks any of it's funny, and I think that there's a common denominator. Look, if you have one person, two person, 3 people, 4 people, 5 people that all have a common thread in their experience, then the common thread is you.
I mean, I understand that, and I'm not like... I have been in a dark place and it transformed me. It made me a whole different person who I don't recognize. And coming out of it.
Who was one of your first calls when you wanted to, like, when you were really in a really dark place after TanaCon? You called me. No one wanted to come to your birthday. We had been through the ringer. I got on a plane to Nashville. I came. Did we have a great time? We had an amazing time. It was so much fun. Time after time, you and I have gone through these cycles of good and bad, but every single time, it's like it ends badly. And I do stuff. I have an attitude sometimes, like I will write him off, but that's like my coping mechanism. But every single time it ends, it's because of your actions.
And I understand that. I also have coping mechanisms. Like when you manipulate me to...
dumping White Claws on me, throwing Perrier at me, throwing water bottles at Sydney.
You've thrown water bottles at me too.
We're talking about 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and I'm sorry.
TanaCon was 2 years ago.
You're talking about your traumas and being bullied from 3 years ago, so why are our experiences not valid?
Mine is currently, I could pull up my phone and open my messages every day.
Open your Twitter right now and show me how many people told you to kill yourself.
Oh, I don't have my phone.
Well, next, a former client of Michael's claims he took $35,000 from their joint business account. We'll talk about that after the break.
One of our business deals was to start a clothing line together. Then I started to notice that people weren't getting their items. Michael was actually just pocketing the money.
Is back with all new shows that will provide you with the information you need to fill in the blanks in your life. I'm hosting top experts in brain health and behavioral science, the best women and children's advocates and visionaries who share their experience, strength, and hope with the important topics, including how to help children navigate the new normal and how to understand human behavior.
An all-new season of Fill in the Blanks starts May 25th. Available on Apple Podcast and Stitcher.
We've been talking to Michael and his former employees and friends, Phil, Sydney, and Allie, who all say Michael, who was once a popular social media manager, has let power and greed get to his head. Now, my next guest, Jackson, says he was only 17 when he met Michael, who promised to build his social media career. Unfortunately, Jackson says after signing with Michael, quite the opposite happened.
I met Michael about 5 years ago. I was only 17 at the time. One of our business deals was to start a clothing line together. Crew necks, t-shirts, shorts. This is a preview of the clothing line that Michael and I started. Michael and I had 2 bank accounts set up. In both accounts, there was about $35,000. After the clothing line launched, I was super excited, got lots of orders, but then I started to notice that people weren't getting their items. So I asked Michael what's going on. He said, don't worry about it, like we have it handled. The problem is they weren't handling it. What I found out was Michael was actually just pocketing the money and the merchandise was just sitting in a storage unit. People were blaming me, saying that I was the one ripping people off, but it was actually Michael that was doing all this. When Michael was setting up TanaCon, I was actually supposed to be performing for the fans. I was booked to perform on the second day and I couldn't do so because TanaCon was shut down. TanaCon was, to say the least, a complete mess. Right after TanaCon, I wanted nothing to do with them, so I cut all ties. Michael agreed to return the $35,000 that I invested into our merchandise line. Michael filed for bankruptcy, and I realized that I'm not getting that $35,000. I got taken on a ride with Michael, and I just really hope I'm the last.
Jackson, thanks for being here.
Hi.
You got burned for 35 grand?
Yes. And
on
actually,
merchandise.
25,000 of it was actually a fan's money. And you know that.
So that was in Chapter 7 bankruptcy.
Michael,
Like
we filed for it
You could've been
beforehand,
the
and you
trustee.
listen and just shut up.
Okay.
Like, let anybody else talk. Stop deflecting. Is that possible for you? I don't know if it is. Because that's what you do. You deflect.
Do speak.
Beforehand, before anything about bankruptcy came through, we signed a dissolvement of our management. This is months before. And in that, you were supposed to send a check for that money into whatever account I see fit. And you said, okay, I'm gonna send out a check written to you, and it's gonna be there this week. Didn't come, kept reaching out to you, kept pushing it back, said it'll be there. And then suddenly, a month and a half later, you're like, oh, my attorney will contact you. And then not even from you, I hear from him that you went bankrupt. All of a sudden, that doesn't just happen.
I mean, it did just happen, but
God, you cannot take accountability. I've been sitting back there watching you just smoke and mirrors. What's new? That's what you did the entire time I was signed to you.
Jackson, no, it's not. I verified you. I built you. I got your Vivo channel.
Verification does not make you a good manager.
I did my job.
I could have done it without you.
I called you out for not verifying one of your clients, and I said it was very unprofessional as a manager. You got angry.
The fact that you said that you did not touch
you write
her,
your own song?
Yes, I watched you touch her. I was in the room. I sat there on the couch in your apartment.
Jackson.
As you literally physically assaulted her and then called the cops and played victim like you're doing up here.
Jackson.
Like what?
Did I do everything for your brand that you wanted?
No!
Okay, well, that's laughable. I named the clothing line.
Why did nobody get the clothes?
I don't know.
Get out of your own way. You keep trying to explain everything away.
I just don't know what else to do.
Tomorrow.
Alexandria has gone to the emergency room 600 times.
Sometimes it can be like 3-4 times a week.
Been fired from 4 jobs because you just walked out and went to the hospital.
Yeah.
You got off a plane because you thought you were having appendicitis.
I would feel like something is wrong, like in that moment. And I just literally start panicking. If I don't go to the hospital, something is gonna happen to me.
That's tomorrow. Then on Thursday, the last interview with Mother God before her decaying body was discovered wrapped in Christmas lights.
Glitter makeup was painted on her face.
This is one of the most dangerous religious groups.
That's Thursday.
Michael, look, I've had Blake weigh in here that said that you've done a great job for him. I've had Taylor weigh in here that said that you have really made an evolution since TanaCon and really turned over a new leaf and tried to listen to other people and embrace that. I've even reached out so far as to talk to your mother, Amy, and she gave a statement. She said, Michael has always had a heart for helping others. His love and success and money became prevalent when his success began to interfere with relationships with his peers in school. He turned his drive to succeed into a passion and into motivation. Michael had a plan, a successful plan, to bring people in through shifts and schedules. Michael returned from TanaCon exhausted and defeated. He was receiving death threats. Clients dropped him because they didn't want people knowing they were friends. He lost his home, he lost his car, he lost absolutely everything. The person they are attacking and criticizing is a living, breathing individual with feelings, insecurities, and a hope to be accepted and liked. This person being attacked feels alone, can't trust anyone, now wonders if they can trust themselves. My child was eaten alive by the vicious keyboard bullies, and it has changed all of us forever. Our entire family has changed. I am proud of him every day. I'm proud of his perseverance. I'm proud of his drive for success and redemption. I am aching for him to find real friends, real confidants, real business partners that conduct business with integrity. I pray he will find happiness, peace, success, and love. Doesn't every mom pray their child finds love? You know, your mother standing behind you. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 people right here that took time out of their lives to come here to weigh in because they obviously care enough about you. They see some redemption in you, some talent in you, some worth in you to invest more. When you need to worry is when they stop talking to you, when they stop saying anything to you, and you won't stop deflecting, as Jackson very aptly observes. And what have I said to you at every bank? Get out of your own way. You keep trying to explain everything away.
I just don't know what else to do.
Well, I'm telling you what else to do. You have said things, you have done things because I think you let ego overcome compassion. You let ego overcome empathy. You let this get to your head, I think, because you're young and inexperienced. And I want to tell you something. I've been in this business, the entertainment arena, television, education, healing, all of that, people in this medium for 25 years. And the bigger the talent, the bigger the star, the smaller the ego. I've had 4th runners-up from American Idol show up with an entourage. You can't get through the building. 30 minutes late. And Stevie Wonder shows up an hour early with donuts for everybody. It's the people that get a little bit of success that goes to their head and they strut around like King Kong. You screwed up, buddy. It didn't work. You got to own that, period. End of sentence, end of story.
I just feel like you're not even listening to me.
Are you caught in a nasty neighbor battle? It happens. Log on to drphil.com. Email me your dilemma. If it's chosen, maybe I can work this out. You need to decide that you are going to be in the service of others. And if you're fortunate enough, then people will stay in your life and you will build something together. Let me tell you, one log won't burn. You know, I've got the #1 show. I've got the #1 show. And you want to know why? Because I got the #1 team in television. One log won't burn. You put me out here with somebody looking at me like a dead trout, and that's exactly what it's going to seem like. I'm as good as who they put together for me. I'm as good as who they recruit. I'm as good as the stories we tell. You got to recognize,
I understand.
I've never met a true champion that was a Lone Ranger. And you've got to decide that it's not all about you. and you screwed up, buddy. You didn't see around corners. You tried to do it on a shoestring, and it fell apart. You swung for the fence, and it didn't work. You got caught. It didn't work. And some things happened that you didn't foresee. Maybe nobody could have foreseen it. I don't know, but it didn't work. You got to own that. And when you do, when people realize, hey, he's truly sorry, it's not sorry, but it's, I'm really sorry. It was my job.
I understand.
It was my job.
Michael, you're not sorry.
You've got to own that, and there's no buts. It's not a run-on sentence. It's just, it was my job, and it ran off in the ditch. Period. End of sentence, end of story.
I understand.
But this is what right now, I just feel like you're not even listening to him. You're just nodding your head, listening.
You're apologizing to Dr. Phil. Now, there's people beyond this. I mean, now, when I saw you again in February, this was February 2020, I had a great time. I had no idea that you weren't paying the bus driver for that tour, or you had no intentions of paying the bus driver for that tour.
Yeah.
He had an old gentleman driving the tour bus for his company, and you did not pay him. This was an old man who worked so hard for you, drove across America.
I paid him before he even came to tour.
You paid him. You can sit here and you can say you paid him.
Yes, he received a deposit before he ever even came on. I don't remember.
How do you not remember what you're paying your staff?
Because I pay a lot of people a lot of things.
You don't pay anybody anything.
You don't pay stuff aside that you purchased for me, because living under Michael's roof, you didn't get paid. He would pay for your meals, and you had a roof over your head. Super lucky, amazing, right? Maybe the entire time I've worked for you, I've known him for like 4 years. I've worked for him for on and off probably 3 or 4 times. I would say maybe shooting high, I've made $700 from this man, made personally into my account. I would say maybe $700.
Well,
you are so creative. You are so smart. You have an amazing business mind, but your love and luster for things, materials, having power over people, having money in your account, having demand and control over others is your downfall. You are so smart.
Well, I
so
hope
talented.
you've learned your lesson if you've made $700 in 4 years.
The thing is I know I look so stupid sitting here being like going back to Michael.
Well, no, I just hope you've learned your lesson.
Oh, yeah, never again. Never again.
I'm going to give Michael one more chance to address his TanaCon attendees when we come back. Want to know what's coming up on Dr. Phil? Visit our website and subscribe to our newsletter. You'll get weekly updates, life strategies, and exclusive video that you won't find anywhere else. Plus, on drphil.com, you can see sneak previews of upcoming shows. Log on today. I have some other people here. Some people here: Felicia, Patty, Sammy, Lily, Lisa, Lydia, Alex, Skylar, Maddie, Alicia. All of these folks here were at TanaCon as well. If you were there, hold your hand up. What do you want to say?
I don't know what I can say besides I'm sorry. I'm sorry you didn't get to meet the people. If you didn't, I'm sorry that you didn't have the expectations that you had. I had the best intentions. I wanted everyone to have a great time, and I'm sorry if you did not. There's nothing I can do now to change that, but I'm sorry.
Alex, go ahead.
Hi. Seeing this now kind of frustrates me because I feel like you're not having accountability and a lot of gaslighting's happening. And I do feel sorry for you. If you were getting stressed, I really do feel sorry. But there's a lot. You're not taking accountability for what other people are really trying to say to you.
You paid money, Alex? You paid money to get in?
Oh, yeah.
How much?
Yeah, and it was like $70 because I actually looked at my refund and it was $156 because my friend and I both went. So that's like $80 actually. So, and we drove up there from San Diego to LA. So that's gas money too.
And did you get some money back?
Oh, I got the whole thing back about 2 months later.
Maddie, go ahead.
Hi, Michael. I just wanted to preface this by saying that it is in no way acceptable for people to be commenting on just telling you to kill yourself. That's completely irrational to me. But I do appreciate the apology, and I think that it's very important for you to now set the tone for yourself because so much has happened, and listening to all these interviews and everything that everybody has to say, really should just inspire you to set the tone for yourself, move on from this, and be the person that you know that you are in your heart. And your mother has explained, you do have redeeming qualities, and I've seen that. So I think it's very important that you highlight those and you set the tone.
Thank you.
Okay, who else? Anybody got something you want to say? Skylar, go ahead. And then Lydia, we'll go to you.
Hi, Michael. So I was one of the first few people to get into TanaCon, and I watched you segueing around. And it wasn't until later that I realized who you were. And I'm really, from the bottom of my heart, I am so sorry that you've had to deal with all of the online bullying. And my heart goes out to you because I've definitely been in that situation. But I also just felt like you completely disappeared, and coming on the show, just not taking accountability and speaking the way that you're speaking, I think that it would really benefit you to look inward.
Thank you for your feedback.
Anybody over here?
One thing about your apology that you gave us is that you kind of were deflecting the apology as well. It's like, oh, I'm sorry you didn't meet your expectation. If we were going to apologize, say like, I'm sorry, I messed up, like put.
Well, I am sorry. I did mess up, and I'm so sorry. I literally, if I could change it, I would. I have to believe that everything happened for a reason, but I am truly so sorry. I wanted nothing more than for you to have the most amazing experience ever, obviously. And I'm so sorry that I failed in that. And I wish I could fix it. I wish I could. And I'll do everything in my power moving forward so that I can be a better person for that to never happen again. And I'm so sorry, not just to you, but to all of you. Truly.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you talking to them. And guys, thank you guys for participating and for your comments to
Thank you
Michael.
for having us on here.
I want to thank all of my guests today. I'm glad you came. I hope you're glad you came. And I think you can hear there are people that don't want you to die.
No one here wants him to
No
die.
one wants that.
That's what I hope everybody here
Yeah,
said.
and we don't want him leaving here, like, hating his life. Like, our goal for this, Michael, was for you to be like have a realization, because sometimes you can get so clouded and in your own head, in your own world. Like, we came together with no, like, bad, like, angry feelings towards this.
Me either.
But listen, just listen to me. Like, we didn't
I'll
want
let
to
you
do
guys talk about that afterwards. I'll give you some time to spend with yourself. For more information about today's show, log on to drphil.com. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, wherever. Don't forget to follow my wife, Robin, on her podcast, I've Got a Secret. She does have some secrets. We'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.